Welcome to the first video about the Jian sword training. Now this is a Chinese type of sword, and the main influence we have in our system is from the Tai CHi and the Bahua and Xingyi and the White Crane system of fighting, but the way we implement our training and our techniques are influenced from other systems, other Chinese systems, and also Japanese and Filipino systems. So we are using specifically for our training the Jian. And we're doing this because the Jian is a very light sword, so it's very easy to maneuver around. It's not very heavy, so you can easily fence with the sword, and it's even a little bit flexible. You can, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, so I'll put the scabbard down and explain the techniques. For the Jian, we prefer to start with some basic movements rather than the longer exercises, the kata or the form. So the first we learn is 8 different techniques that we start with. So the first thing is, when we start, we actually start in a start position like this, and then we switch to the right hand. Now the first is we go back as a normal foot position is similar with a boxing stance, except of course we have a sword. Now the first technique is going back, deflecting, okay? And the left hand throughout the fight, you would use that as a support of the sword, like this, or you can use it to deflect or help to control the opponent's sword or the opponent's sword arm. But mainly we will have our other hand, the one without the sword, close to the chest, because we don't want it out, around and being cut from our sword or the opponent's sword. So keep your hand here as much as possible. So we start in this position. Somebody is attacking straight overhead, so we block here like that. So from the side, we basically go back here, and the tip of my sword is behind my head to make sure that I completely deflect. And of course I don't want to cut my own head off, so of course it's a little bit above but not too high up, because we don't want to go like this, because that will send the opponent's sword into our leg. So we go in here, okay? So that's the first technique. We switch, we go in here. So we start the tip pointing to the opponent, and we end the tip pointing to the opponent. So it's 360 degrees sweep, all right? So in this position here, so we go back here, all right? Because we can be very close to the opponent and still do it. We can be basically standing like this, okay? If he's right in front of us, we go here, all right? There is a second technique where we go here, and at the end of it, we actually hit the neck of the opponent. So that means when we're blocking here, the sword will be pushed down, and then the tip of our sword will actually get right into the neck and cut the neck of the opponent. So that's the first move. That's the first move, and then from here, we pull back, okay? And then we go to the second move, which is basically pushing, thrusting forward into the chest or whatever body part is right here. So we will go into the chest or into the stomach or into the neck with this thrust. So we go 1 here, back, and then number 2. From number 2 here, let me show this. So we go here and pull it back, and then straight forward. Okay, around, pull it back, and straight forward. All right. So from here, from that pushing straight forward, now we will have the third technique, which is basically when the 2 blades are close to each other, we have this technique, which is very subtle technique, where we simply put the sword on top of the opponent, and this is like sticky hands or push hands, as we use in Tai Chi and Wing Chun. It's a type of controlling the sword. So basically what we do is we thrust, and then we put the sword on top. Okay? So of course that doesn't mean that it will necessarily come after a thrust. Okay? We could have been using another technique here, and then we use it. So let's say we are now on top of that sword. From here, we will follow the opponent's sword. So wherever he moves, my sword will follow him and keep it from getting in the right position to attack me. So I'm now following the opponent's sword. Okay, so from here, this is the third technique. And then we have a technique basically from here, where we basically go up here. So that means from here we are blocking or following, sticking sword, and then we are basically pushing forward, backhand, just like if you have a backhand in tennis or badminton or table tennis, you know, the backhand is basically coming like that. So basically we have our hand here, and then we go up here, cutting the neck as well. All right. So we got 1 here, and then 2, and then the sticking, and then the backhand. From the backhand here, many other choices. So that's number 4. Then here, you make a sweep around, similar with what we're learning on the Jo. You sweep backwards, so you basically turn around. Okay, from here, we turn around here. Okay, you can do that straight, or you can do that down low, depending on the needs. But we consider that the same technique. So you are here now. Okay, from this, so that's number, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we now at number 5 here. All right. I'll go a little bit forward so it's a little bit easier to see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. From number 5 here, I could go up and block it. That means somebody thrusting their sword or other weapon right at me. I would be blocking here. Okay. I will be blocking here. This hand is helping me to push. So that means that it's hard to get for the opponent to cut me. And then right here, I will swing around. Okay. So I will go here, and then from here I will go closer and hit straight across my right shoulder. Block, and then here. I don't go around and exaggerating like that would look good for competition, but actually not very quick and not very practical. So I will go here, and I basically just take my hand up. So this could be a second. If he's hitting twice like that, he might be hitting twice like that. I will block here, and I will block here, and then I will swing, because what it is in the wrist. From here, I basically go like that. So I go 1 and 2. As I said, you can block it twice and then switch. Be careful, you don't want to hit your head, okay? So you say 1, 2, and 3. Although this is one move, and this is one move. Alright? Okay. Another move that we can add to that, so when we say 1 here and 2 here, All right. There might be a stab forward coming at any time. We can go in and block straight down here, and this is where we are pushing here. Okay, we are basically pushing the opponent's weapon, pushing straight down, so it will go towards the ground, and we can go sideways to do that, or sideways to do that. So what we're doing, and this is one thing that I should mention, this type of swords here that I'm using, the Jian, it usually has part of the blade about 20 centimeter here, which is not sharp at all, but it's kind of flat edge, so it can handle being hit easily, and it's very easy to block, which is also why the handle is usually this shape, so you can actually go in and twist the opponent so he loses the grip. So in this case we will be blocking him, okay, and making sure that we push it in close to the hand guard, and therefore we have a bit of control. From here, okay, we go up to the last technique, and here I will go in here because I'm controlling now the arm of the opponent. That's why my hand is here. Okay, so I go 1 here and 2 here. All right, right here I will go down here, for example. Now you can combine this in all kinds of ways and make different exercises. So I'm down here and then I go here, because what I'm doing is I'm cutting under the arm of the opponent, or if he's stabbing forward, I will actually be going in and cutting his neck. Of course, we want to make the most effective out of every technique. So once again, we start with number 1. So these are the techniques that you learn first. Once you have a good feeling of the techniques and you feel that they might be okay, you can make a video of yourself maybe from 2 different angles, just so I can see it properly, and then I will look at it and give you some comments on how you can make it more correct and more effective. So we start in this position and we go 1, pull back, and 2, 3. Okay, here we're going in here. All right. From here we go up, which is the backhand. Then we can do the sweep around. Then we can do the block. And from the block we go in and secure the sword and twist around and hit the neck. Then from here we go and push. And from the push we go back and cut again. All right, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 techniques that you should try and practice. So once you feel confident, we will make some, by the way, I have that here. We have some wooden sword. I would advise you the best way to learn, because you can learn to make the technique, to do the techniques without opponent, and if you have good imagination it will help. But it is at some point you need to have some practical experience with wooden swords, so that means that you will make these techniques so there is somebody who will hit you and you will block. So that means that we go into a partner exercise where you take turn to be the attacker and defender, and that's the next step after you have learned some of these techniques. Alright, until next time, stay healthy and stay safe.